Hi, and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. And I would like to introduce you to Jake Kahn, who is the chef and partner behind Sam and Maggie's Dockside Grill, which is located in Pasadena, Maryland, along the waterfront. So, Jake, welcome to Food Farms and Chefs.
Hi, great to be here.
So, you've listened to a little bit of Food Farms and Chefs and how I run everything. So you kind of know that I like to start out with a little bit of history on the person that I'm interviewing. So I did try to seek you out and try to find you online, but I did not find much of anything on you. So let me tell me a little bit about your history and how you came to become a chef and how you joined the business itself, Sam and Maggie's Dockside Grill.
So Sam and Maggie's is part of the parent company of Rock Creek Management, which is a family business. So like my family's business. So for since '94, we have owned Fairview Marina, a marina property where the restaurant is located, off of Rock Creek, which is right off the Patapsco. So which is the river where Baltimore is. So we're pretty much like right between Annapolis and Baltimore. Um, this was like it was kind of a dream project for my father and I. My father was someone that wanted to go to the CIA, and it just didn't happen. And he went this maritime direction, and it was something that we always talked about doing. There was never a restaurant on our property before, so we were talking about this project back when I was an undergrad, more than a decade ago. And it took a really long time to get all the ducks in a row to be able to open up. Um, and so it's just been kind of a long journey. But yeah, it's our first restaurant project. Um, no, like all like in the moment learning, never like working for another chef or no culinary school or anything like that. I don't hear you.
Yeah, that's because I muted it for a second. So that's
Oh, okay.
actually a huge undertaking. I a huge and I mean the fact that it's a lifelong dream of your father's and that you kind of folded into that lifelong dream as well and have created. I've seen some of the photos like on your Facebook page and on Instagram, and they look amazing, and including you
Oh, thank
had
you.
amazing burger that just kind of had a sauce just dripping on the sides, and I think it was your surf and turf burger that was being highlighted at the time.
Yeah, I can't take any credit for that. That one is my son's, who's 14. That's his burger. And everything there's a story behind. But that has been like the one thing that's been people have been most excited about this season. And that was the burger that my son would make for himself after a long service on Saturday nights if there were any crab cakes left over. And we kind of laughed at this ridiculous burger that he was coming out with until my father and I tasted it, and we were like, "Oh my God, we have to run this." Um, and it was huge for us. We're running it again this week, but our menu changes every week, so things kind of come on the menu, off the menu. There's always new things. So like every week, at least 50% of our menu is new from the week before.
Oh wow. Because I mean, I know that I saw in the email that you had responded that you guys change it on a weekly basis. And I was like, that's a lot. That's a huge undertaking for any restaurant to do. But it also like incorporates, a fresh take on everything. And I'm sure you guys have specials too.
Well, everything is a special when like the menu changes weekly. So we don't
Yeah,
have
that's
like
true.
specials. Every week we're running, we keep a small menu, and it's focused on seasonality and what you're excited about. Um, and so it's not really a special as much as it's like, this is what I want to do this week. we hit certain bases. You know, do we have a version of a crab cake entree? Do we have a fish entree? Are we doing something with a steak? And then we do like a wild card thing that may be something with duck, maybe something with lamb, maybe something with pork. And that changes every week as well. And we do the same thing with our appetizers, and there's like a small taco menu component.
Yeah, you change it on a regular basis. And so you associate that with, not being a special, but being something that is just seasonality and making sure that it's fresh and inventive, I will say too.
Yeah, so I don't know, they don't use the term fusion anymore. They use the term New American, right? That's like the term.
Yeah.
Uh, and so we incorporate a lot of global flavors. I think we're pretty honest to like the Chesapeake traditions of like really good seafood and stuff like that, and using a lot of local produce. But we do a lot with Latin Caribbean flavors, do a lot with Asian flavors. And it just kind of reflects like, what we like to eat, what we like to cook, places we've been, where you draw inspiration. And really going out of our way to not do what other people are doing.
Yeah. And I mean, oh yeah, and I wanted to make a note of the fact that you had the smoked short ribs, because you incorporated curry in that. And I know that you've listened to some of the past episodes, but you may or may not have heard, I love anything with flavor, and with curry in it just makes me
Yeah.
so happy.
Yeah, that was kind of one of our like original dishes. Like one of like the first time I had done like a wine dinner. That was like the main entree with that, which was challenging because pairing wine like with curry and smoke and mangoes and chilies is, I mean, I don't know how well I did with the pairing, but the food was really good. Uh, yeah, that it has a lot of flavor, and the curry elements are subtle, the coconut elements are subtle, but like each component on its own is very delicious, and it comes together, I think, more than the sum of its parts. But even if it's just the sum of its parts, it's very, very delicious.
Yeah. I mean, just all the different flavors melts together with the smoky and the sweet and, savory. Like you can't go wrong with something like that.
Yeah, we do a lot with smoking. We have a couple big green eggs, and my dad does the one that is the smoker guy. So like we do fish dips and we do smoked duck. And I don't think anyone does like smoked duck confit. It just kind of like fun stuff. When other people are like sourcing from like smokehouses, we're doing it ourselves. We just did like a like a Korean American fusion baby back rib that was like applewood smoked, but then glazed with the gochujang honey product. So like it was like the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
Um, so we were, and it did really well, and people were really excited about it. And it's fun when you're doing a little bit more fine dining to then like introduce something that like you need a wet nap for.
I mean,
Um,
I mean, listen, I've said it before on the show, and I'll say it over and over again. If the food is messy, it's probably going to taste really good.
I mean, I like so we do this big tomahawk pork chop, and like I wouldn't serve it on a bone if I didn't want you to pick up the bone when you were done with all the meat and finish it properly, right? That's
Yeah.
how you know you did a good job when a cleaned bone comes back to the dish pit.
Yeah. Have you ever opened up the bone and done like the bone marrow?
Uh I don't I'm a little weird about bone marrow. That's not really my thing.
Okay.
Um
That's fair.
uh
It's just a question.
yeah, like everybody has their thing. Like that's not it for me.
It's a fair question, but I mean, it's one that some chefs do. Now,
Very trendy. Yeah.
yeah. Now, I will say something else that caught my eye were your Hokkaido scallops. So
Oh
I,
yeah.
mm-hmm. So are you getting, well, you're saying Hokkaido, so are you getting them fresh from there?
So if my understanding is correct, when you get Hokkaido scallops, kind of like when you get like really good tuna from Japan, they get fresh. They're dry packed but flash frozen for
Yeah.
transport. And when you get them, like you would never know, they're incredibly sweet. I think they're quite a bit sweeter than like the dry scallops you would get from like Maine or something.
Yeah, the big main
Um,
ones.
And
Yeah.
they're pretty good in size. And it would be like what would be appropriate if you were doing a lot of sashimi dishes in like, with regulation, anything that
Yeah.
you're serving raw is supposed to be flash frozen because of all the different critters that could
Bacteria.
be there. Um, and it's just a great product. So it allows us to do sear preparations, to do like aguachiles and ceviches with it. And it's super versatile. And I can feel really comfortable with using it and no one getting a bellyache.
Uh, and that would be good. Not getting a
Yeah,
bellyache is definitely key in making sure that your restaurant continues being as popular as it
it
is.
helps with your reputation.
That, yes, and consistency. Yeah, exactly. You want people to come back.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good things.
and I mean, of course they're going to want to come back with the backdrop that you have.
We are blessed with an incredible view here, which is definitely a bonus.
Yeah.
And it helps with the rotating menu. Like we have a lot of regulars. You have a small menu. We have a lot of people that come in every week excited to what they're going to find. They make reservations weeks in advance and have no idea what they're going to be served. So that's kind of, when you have that kind of trust, you feel really good about what you do.
Yeah. Now, do you ever do like a chef's tasting event kind of situation? Because I heard you say you did a wine pairing, so that's somewhat
So
similar.
So in season, we don't because we're so busy with like regular dinner service and events and like private events that we do. But then like when everything slows down over the winter months, we do like monthly special dinners that are themed, and they're usually tasting menus. Um, and they range from everything to like on Valentine's Day last 2 years, we've done like a Latin tasting menu, kind of like spice up your Valentine's Day, little like Latin heat in the middle of February.
Yeah.
To we've done big seafood boils, seafood tasting menus. We did a wine dinner that we called Swine and Wine, which were all like uh, very pork centric dishes that were super eclectic from different cultures, including dessert that were paired with wines. That was a lot of fun. Um, that was one that my wife and I had gone to Miami and eaten our fill of pork and from all the Cuban restaurants, and we're like, yeah, we're gonna do something pork centric, and that was a lot of fun. Um, yeah, it's kind of whatever like inspires you. We have that flexibility that you run it and people support it, and you
Yeah.
feel very blessed that they actually show up when you say we're gonna do something kind of off the wall.
I mean, I'd be down for it. Like I'm the type of person that goes to a restaurant and I'll order, even though I'll look through the menu before I arrive and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna order. I'll get there and if they have specials, that are off menu, I'm gonna order from that because
Yeah, I want to eat what the chef is most excited to cook. Like
yes.
that's what's going to be the best. And if they're like if you go to a sushi place and you're like, just keep feeding me, and they keep bringing things out, that's like always the best way to dine if you have the budget and the appetite.
Yeah. And I mean, if I'm gonna spend like if I'm gonna spend money and I just like have at it, it's usually gonna be on food.
Yeah, I feel like it's like the most accessible like luxury item for people, right? Like maybe like it's a lot, but everyone can like afford to splurge like that every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's a little more attainable than like, a 911 or $1 million house.
Yeah. But with that, I'm wondering, what kind of like beverage menu you have as well, because you're at the like you're on a bay, at a marina. It's gonna be gorgeous setting. What are
We
you
have a
offering?
we have a really good cocktail program. We do like so. I would say when we first opened up, we were like, okay, we're on the water. Everyone's going to drink, Coronas and Miller Lite, and we hardly sell any beer. In the busy part of the season, we do sell some wine, but it's mostly our cocktail program that rotates seasonally. This is actually our first week where things are going to be leaving the menu, and we're going to be bringing in a lot of fall flavors, which I'm super excited about. I have a bunch of honey nut squashes coming in, and we're doing stuff with apples, and the week after we'll probably bring in beets and go that direction.
Yeah.
Um,
No, you're talking about the regular menu, not the beverage menu.
Well,
The bev
both, not the beets, but like we're next this week, we are like pulling our fruity gin cocktail, and we're doing a rosemary bee's knees where you make a rosemary honey infused syrup, lemon, good whiskey. I mean, not good whiskey, good gin. We do this really awesome cocktail called apple pie, which is a wheated bourbon with apple cider, a cinnamon ginger honey syrup, an Angostura, which is clove. So like people don't think about what Angostura bitters is, it's clove. So in that you get like all of those fall flavors with the
in
ginger and the
one.
cinnamon and the apple and the clove. It like hits really, really right. And it's one of those cocktails that is spirit forward enough for like that person that likes to drink a Manhattan or an old fashioned, and not so spirit forward that people that like, to hide their liquor can't enjoy, because
Yeah.
it has a really nice balance.
Well, you just described it and made me want to try it. Like I would travel. Actually, I'm supposed to be in Rehoboth Beach on vacation with friends soon, and I feel like you're not that far away.
It depends on how hungry you are. Is how we're about 2 hours from Rehoboth,
Oh,
but I have to say, last weekend I had people that came from Philly, which was pretty big deal. It was like one couple from Philly and one couple that was north of Philly, and they drove all the way down to Rock Hall, which is across the bay, and then took like a 4 hour, 5 hour sail over to see us. Stayed with us for the weekend at the marina and ate. And it was like the third season in a row they've done that. So it's good to know that you have a little bit of outreach, um, which
of
is pretty
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, and I mean, I will travel for food. I have no problem traveling for food. There's a place that's like 4 hours from me that I'm that's on my bucket list. So I'm not afraid to
Well,
travel.
I hope to get on your bucket list.
You 100% like the Instagram account, like just looking through what you've created, you're already on the bucket list. But speaking of bucket lists and people visiting and in events, you offer very, as you had mentioned, small private parties. So
Hmm.
people have wine dined there and have had their weddings there too.
We do weddings. I have a wedding coming in up in October. We do a lot of rehearsal dinners. Um, so we do events on. We try to schedule things on our off days, but when the right event comes around, you're happy to do it. And weddings and rehearsal dinners are a lot of fun. Um, yeah.
S- How many people, about approximately how many people can you actually, have for a private party?
Well, it depends. So we're a small dining room, right? So I could fit about 50 inside, and I have more space outside. If people want to like take the risk that it could rain, right? Then you allow more people. I can do a lot more, but I generally like to keep it around that 50, 60 person mark, especially like for weddings, people that need to be able to get up and move around and dance and stuff. So we've kind of tried to like have that niche of doing that like really upscale, refined, like small wedding,
Yeah.
um, which isn't for everyone. But like if I was gonna do it again, which I won't be because I'm happily married, but the first time everyone invites everyone they've ever met, and then you think back on it and you're like, well, had we had the same budget and only invited 50 people, boy, would that have been an amazing wedding.
Yeah.
Uh, and that's kind of like where we want to be in the marketplace.
All right. Well, speaking of events again, I'm going to ask if you have any upcoming events that, are happening since we are rounding out the summer season and entering into fall.
Um, we don't have anything that's necessarily announced yet. We're like in that brainstorming session where we know that we need to start planning things. And aside from knowing that we do this huge Christmas party every year, I'm not sure what like our big November event will be. Like we're so focused right now on like menu development and like what's next, in the next coming weeks, and like the changeover to fall flavors. And as a family business, so we have a unique setup in the kitchen where like on the line, I've got my father, myself, my 14-year-old son, and one other person. My wife makes all the desserts from scratch. My daughter runs food and builds desserts and just does work. And she's 11. And
Wow.
and over the summer, so we just had this like big loss because over the summer I had this incredible crew of like children uh, doing all this prep work for me and doing it at a really high level. And they've all went back to school. My daughter just started 6th grade. My son's 9th grade. So now we're kind of figuring out how do we pull this off with half the labor force, uh, without breaking any like laws. Maybe next year we'll homeschool so that we can keep them working.
Well, on that note, we actually ran out of time. So if you would kindly share how to find you online and in person, I would love for our listeners to visit you.
Okay, so samandmaggies.com is a really good website that I made for us. And there's some information there, but if you go to our Facebook page, which I believe is just facebook.com/Sam and Maggie's Dockside Grill, you can see like all of our like most updated content and like all of our weekly menu postings. And then we do have Instagram, but I'm really bad at Instagram, so I'm better at Facebook because I'm old.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining me on Food Farms and Chefs, Jake.
Thank you. Next time we do it, we'll have fewer technical difficulties.
Exactly. And on that note, we'll be right back after this short break. Hi, and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. And I am very honored to have Patrick Kohr, who is one of the co-managers of, I'm so excited, Kohr Soft Ice Cream, and which is located in Little Egg Harbor, I believe, in New Jersey. So I am very, very excited for you to join me, Patrick, because I love ice cream and your family is iconic.
Thank you. I'm flattered.
I'm flattered. And before we hopped on, we talked a little bit about the fact that you are very distinguished from the rest of the Kohr family brand. But let our listeners know a little bit about your history, your family history, and then we'll get into what you guys offer.
Okay. All right. So, it was just a matter of fate, you would say. I was born and raised in ice cream as I grew up serving ice cream with my family at the county fairs throughout Pennsylvania. So like at 6 years old, I was helping my parents at the stands,
Yeah.
and I worked a couple shops that my parents owned at Tuckerton and Galloway Township, and I from there, right, my parents had owned that, and that's my father, who was Paul Kohr, right, who
Yeah.
was the son of the fourth Kohr brother, Morgan Kohr. So yes, we are a part of Kohr brothers. We were, right.
Yes.
But eventually disagreements between all the Kohrs sparked one Kohr to buy us all out and go franchise with it. As
Okay.
Yeah, there was a point where like there was a vote on who would run the company, and it was between my father and my uncle. And my father, which he had his own shop in Atlantic City before the casinos came up, and then
Yeah.
they basically ran everyone bankrupt over there for the mom pops. He felt he wasn't in the place to run a company after he's still trying to do the ins and outs of his own shop in Tuckerton now, and at that time. And
Yeah.
so my uncle, who had a business degree, they said, okay, we're going to run it in this direction, and we're going to go mainly soft serve. And my father, who was basically had a degree in just refrigeration and made his own ice cream, felt like that was the way to go, like because his cousin knew best,
Yeah.
so he has been in the ice cream all his life, like I said, with the Kohr brothers. At age 12, he was assistant manager on the boardwalk. I mean, he learned a lot from the Kohr brothers on the boardwalks on how to make ice cream, especially with Archie Kohr and Greg Kohr. And he learned a lot all by himself and the ins and outs of ice cream. by servicing refrigeration equipment. So he got a degree in refrigeration equipment, and he actually helped all the other Kohrs fixing their equipment. You know,
Well,
I myself dreamed of running a shop when I was a young kid. You know, when I got older, though, I thought I'd rather go my own way and do something because I just saw my parents just working their butts off, and I said, I don't know if this is the way I want to go. And you know how kids don't like to listen to their parents. So I straightened myself up and I joined the Navy, and I did that submarine service, and I retired after 20 years. And I
oh
was ready to
wow.
start a new chapter. Yeah. So I went and had a whole entire life, and then I walked back into the ice cream scene, and my mom, Eva Kohr, was running the shop after my father passed away 3 years ago. And I found that she was struggling a little bit because in this current economy, it was only small gains each year, and the prices for everything was going up, and there was so much more competition going around. Um, so when I saw that my father went bankrupt twice doing ice cream, I was surprised that they went a third time because they went bankrupt in Tuckerton,
Oh
and
wow.
but in 2012, because 2008 really that recession hurt them, and they
Yeah.
also had a house fire, and they lost everything. They put all their money in one nest, and then boom, something else happened. So we lost it, and then
Yeah.
a family friend said, "Hey, I got this old pizza joint over here in Little Egg Harbor, Parkertown area," and my father wanted that last ride. As
Yeah.
he always said that there was ice cream in his blood, right? And so after they closed the shop in 2012, they were back in business 2013 after a year off because people missed the ice cream, and so that's the way he wanted to go, and he took on that name, Kohr Soft Ice Cream, as it is a word salad, I know, but he didn't want to offend his cousins, and I understand where he was going with that.
Yeah.
But eventually, I'm probably going to change it to something more modern, eventually. But for now,
For
that's the
now
way it be.
it's would you retain the core part and then
Yes.
yeah. Because I'm like that would branding wise, that would be an intel like a smart move.
Oh yeah.
Um but as far as what you guys offer, I mean, you do differentiate like greatly because you offer so many like interesting flavors.
Yes, because of my time in the Navy. So when I traveled around the world, right, and not only that, but like I had ice cream from all around the world.
Yeah.
So I actually had to learn, from tasting and seeing how other shops were manned. And I've noticed that the small batch way was my kind of fancy because I mean that's something that you try a flavor, and if it's a big hit, people you make it again or you bring
Yeah.
it back later because then it makes people crave it more, right? So yeah, right. It's a really good strategy, and I had having that pleasure of knowing taste, and also my mom helped grooming me back into ice cream, right?
Yeah.
Because I mean, she wanted to hold the legacy down, and of course, here I am. I'm coming in. I said, "Hey, mom, let's start doing some artisan style ice cream. Let's do some gourmet options." And right now, it's been doing phenomenal for us as we actually introduced this last year. Believe it or not, I retired 2021.
Okay.
And then so this 2022 by January 1st. So basically in 2022, I went right in head first into this ice cream thing, and just with a couple flavors because some people are like stuck in the traditional way and they don't like change because it's scary.
Yeah.
Change is scary. And
To some
20 years
people.
ago, my dad didn't want that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
wanted to do that.
but now you're heading it, and I'm gonna say like one of the things, the biggest hit that took off in America was ube. Ube is bay.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
see I see that you have ube and it's a prominent flavor in a lot of your photos. So it's definitely something that took off and trended. But what was one of the first flavors that you introduced that was outside of the box?
Well, other than ube, because we wanted to embrace our Pinoy heritage. Because I was like,
Yes.
I am half Pinoy. I'm
Yeah.
very proud of my my heritage. And I said, let's do this. Let's do ube. I swear people will love it. And I not only brought that, but I brought the cherry bourbon. I brought in like Italian flavors for because we're in an Italian neighborhood and people love that too. Like
Yes.
I made an Italian flight and it was gone in like 24 hours.
Oh,
Like
wow.
all 4 flavors just gone.
So
I
what
made
would,
the spumani and everything.
oh, wow. There you
Yes.
go. And I
Yeah.
want to mention like, I'm glad that you actually said the flight because I wanted to mention the fact that you offer ice cream flights that, so if you go up and you want to try a bunch of different flavors, you can actually get a scoop of each flavor.
Yes. And honestly, it matched us well because we have over 50 flavors. And I said, well, if we have over 50 flavors and people want more, let's give them something fancy as an option. And
Yeah.
it's been taken off.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, I know when I go visit you, I'm 100% going to get one, maybe two flights. I'll drag some friends along so it's not like so indulgent, but like
Yeah.
there's only so much ice cream you can eat at one time. And it's unfortunate because, ice cream melts. So it's not like I can travel with it for too far. But it's definitely something that is highly enjoyable. And ube is going to be one of the number one things that I want on there. And I think you had some sort of interesting chocolate concoction too.
Yeah, I just made a chocolate devil food cake. That's out right now. I made a vegan chocolate banana bread, you know, but like even though ube is a staple, I even go crazy with the staple flavor because, like we do a ube cookie dough. We do a ube honeycomb. We've done, yeah, I know, ube leche flan. I mean, very, very interesting Pinoy inspired flavors that you can't find anywhere else. I had even Pinoys from all the way up from Maine and Florida coming up and saying, I had to come to your shop. If I was in New Jersey, I had to make this a destination. So I'm
That's
very
fun.
happy to get that kind of recognition
Yeah.
from the Filipino community.
Yeah. And speaking of like celebrating your heritage, you also offer certain days where you do a halo celebration. So
Yes.
what can you go get into a little bit more detail as to what that is and how you celebrate it?
Well, that's interesting. Yes. So a lot of people are like, what is halo halo? In Tagalog, like that's called mix, in which it's a mixture of shaved ice, your sweet beans, coconut gels, tapioca pearls, coconut strings, and then whatever else you throw in there, right? And it's beautifully layered, right? You build this beautiful layered sundae and you top it off with some ice cream and maybe some leche flan, and
Mhm.
then with condensed milk and evaporated milk, you pour on top, and then you just start mixing. So you take
Oh,
something beautiful, and then you just mix it all up, and that's what that's traditional thing. Because in the Philippines, it was a very third world country back in the day. It's getting booming economy now, but like that was the culture food of our heritage, and bringing it here has warmed many Filipino hearts here. I mean,
yeah.
every end of the month we brought it in. We didn't want to like overdo it, so we made it an end of the month thing. So every end of the month, starting in the late spring to end of summer, like Labor Day, that's when we're doing it. And that's a lot of time when people have time to vacation. So it's
Yeah.
the best time.
Yeah. So when are you open till? Because the summer season is over soon, and so I'm wondering if I think I saw November as being on the list of like when you're open till.
Yes, usually till November, mid-November. I want to stay open till at least the day before Thanksgiving because we're trying to offer an advent calendar. So I know there's a lot of stuff going on in my head. I have things just coming out of my head. An advent calendar, 24 flavors in flights. You just get it in a bag, and we listed it out there as an event and see if people want to pre-order it. Hey, I got a lot going on there. We do ice cream merchandise. We have
Yeah.
exotic sodas, and not to mention our biggest hit was our takeout because we actually teamed up with a baker, Love at First Sight Bakery,
Okay.
in which they pair cookies with our ice cream.
Oh, that's
Mhm.
cute.
Oh
So
yeah.
is that where you get the gourmet ice cream sandwiches from?
Yes, yeah. So they give us I say, here's a flavor, and we just keep on collaborating. Like the next one we caught coming out is a snickerdoodle cookie with pumpkin ice cream.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah, like we just everything. I've already got 12 flavors of gourmet cookies.
Oh, there you go. And
Yeah,
I think I saw like you almost looked like a sugar waffle as a cookie base.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah. That's our breakfast of champions ice cream. It's a waffle cookie, right?
Okay.
And it's that cookie has our breakfast champions, which has a bourbon vanilla base with blueberries and waffle pieces soaked in bourbon maple and little bacon pieces throughout.
You see, I mean, people who are listening can't see my facial reaction, but like my mouth just dropped.
Yeah, I mean honestly, it's a great breakfast right there.
Yeah. You when you get like a mouth drop head tilt from me, like that's me like being like, I can't, why is it not in front of me right now?
Yes. And that's why, but you got to take pictures, in which my like a lot of cores,
Yeah.
we never touch social media. Like they're like, like let's keep on traditional. I'm like, I've been doing social media because that's the new age thing. And I mean, a lot of people have been noticing us from our social media, really. I
That's
mean,
how
that's
it
how you
blows
notice
up.
us, right? Yeah.
Yeah. That's exactly how I noticed you.
Yeah.
It's funny, well, because and that's the other thing is your social media will learn, the algorithm will learn you and it'll suggest things. So it knows that I'm looking for like new things and new places. And so, that's how you came across my purview. Not that you're new, but it definitely was like, oh, you haven't seen this yet.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. That's why we're doing it like this.
Yeah.
So the social media, making events, making it fun family. Like we do a Easter bunny ice cream social. We get the Easter bunny, and the kids make sundaes and a big jumbo egg. And yeah, like we have activities for the kids each season. So
Yeah.
like spring and summer mostly. I wish I could do more like this coming weekend. I'm doing an ice cream Olympics for the fall.
Okay. And what does that entail?
Well, last year basically we did something similar: a pint eating contest, a 4x4 ice cream cone eating relay, our 5 pound sundae eating contest, in which someone actually finished that in 9 minutes 12 seconds.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, some people are doing it. Like, it's a fad. Ice cream challenges. People like doing that.
Do you have eaters? Do you have any eaters that reach out to you for that?
I'm waiting. I mean, we have the locals, in which they've made themselves prominent now. Like, I made the shop where it's like the locals can make the shop their own. I
Yeah.
mean, basically, for the pint eating contest, I'm like, hey, if you win this pint eating contest, you can create your own flavor. And that's what I really love. I love challenge myself. They can come up with anything, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna make it. And
Yeah.
that's the fun of it. That's the truth fun of it. I feel like ice cream's in my blood.
Yeah. It's definitely in your blood. I don't know what generation you are, if you're the fourth or fifth, but
I'm third generation.
you're third. Okay. You're third
Yep,
generation.
yep, and I'm
So,
fostering a fourth generation, of course. Yep.
well, all I know is it looks delightful and just creamy, and I want to dig into it because I'm looking through the pictures and I'm like, that looks good and that looks good. Like everything kind of looked just, I wanted to dig in. There was like I think a salted caramel version of your heritage as well that you
Oh
had
yeah.
created. I forget how you did that twist though. So that you can talk about.
Well, that's our Milo is like a chocolate malt beverage drink that we would have in the Philippines. Kind
Okay.
of like your Nestle or your Nesquik.
Okay.
But it was because we have cocoa plants in the Philippines. So Milo is a big thing. And so we Milo infuse our chocolate batch with with salted caramel and salted fudge all throughout. Just whip it all in there, and it's a beautiful collaboration of flavor. And people, it's already gone. I'm sorry.
It's darn it.
Yeah, like we tell people online, like it's okay to reserve it if you say you're coming, because I'm telling you, there's no
It's gonna go
guarantee.
fast.
Yes, because it's in small batch. Sometimes if it's going big, I'll make a couple batches because it's like the sweet corn. Like we
Yeah.
do corn, and that's almost gone again. And I'm like, wow, thank you for loving it.
Yeah. Now speaking of loving it, we have only we have less than 2 minutes to let people know like some of the other things, like real quick, like some of the savory items that you offer on your menu when you visit, because it's not just ice cream, and then let people know where to find you in person and online.
Okay, so if you love ice cream and you like adventure for your mouth, come see us at Kohr Soft Ice Cream. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Facebook preferably, because that's where we put all our events. And hopefully you will see us in Connecticut, because I plan on having my own shop here in Connecticut.
Oh wow, what part of Connecticut?
Right now, I live in Groton, Connecticut, as I would love to be in Groton, Connecticut, doing it, but somewhere in this area.
Oh,
That's where I'm talking to you from right now.
all right.
I am in Connecticut. I make this travel in New Jersey all the time. 3.5 hour drive to help my mom out. God bless.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Well, listen, I grew up in Connecticut, so it's not a far cry for me to go visit, but I wish you all the luck and I look forward to trying some of your flavors.
Oh yeah, please. And later on we could talk afterwards after the thing if you want any pictures or whatnot for the post.
Of course. So,
Yeah.
on that note, thank you very much, Patrick, for joining me on Food Farms and Chefs.
Thank you.
No
Thanks for having
problem.
a pleasure.
And we'll be right back after this short break. Hi, and welcome back to Food Farms and Chefs. And I am very happy to have one of my personal friends who owns Cultinary Family Farms, Eric de Grandmont, who is joining me with Cultinary Family Farms, and you're also Cultinary Road Trip. So let our listeners know who you are and how you came to be here and starting this farm, because I mean, you make an amazing pesto. The vampire killer that you had given me, I got to try. So it's very garlicky. Like it was kind of infusing my veins like a few days after I had eaten it. I was like, I still smell like garlic.
Vampire free, you know.
Yeah, vampire free.
I do with all my videos. I'm gonna just start by saying, "Hey, what's up, Cultinary? You know, what's up, everybody?" So yeah, we are Cultinary Road Trip. That was the main stuff that we did, and we also changed it into Cultinary Family Farms, and we kept kind of the same name because the reason why the name is Cultinary. What a lot of people like, is that a cult? Are you just you made a typo? Or you kind of weird? You don't know how to pronounce culinary? And it's actually a mix of culinary, culture, and agriculture. So it's Cultinary.
Yeah.
So I like when people say, I'm just saying, put cultural and culinary together, you get Cultinary. So that's what we do, is we just highlight culture, we highlight food, we highlight, small businesses. We don't believe in bashing. We don't believe in, it depends. I'm talking about food. If a business is not good, I'm not gonna represent them. But I mean, I'm not gonna judge the food. In a way where I don't go into places with the intention of judging the food.
Yeah.
I go there with the intention of having a good time, meeting good people, and eating. Like I said, you have to eat once, twice, 3 times a day. Usually the people do. And I'm not going to go to a place expecting them to serve exactly what I would want, the way, I want it at home, the salt that way. I'm having fun. I'm going out to eat. It doesn't mean I'm going to be, there's salt shaker on the table if you need more salt. There's 30 items on the menu. If you don't like one, just take something else.
Yeah.
I don't believe in that being like, oh, well, you should tell with people my onions were too big. Like, who cares? To me, like, whatever, that's how the way they make it, and that's how they learn to do it, and that's what they're representing. The cheesesteak fight, has to be, I love cheesesteak, Cooper Sharp seeded roll, thanks Cooper cheese. but that's my way. But if someone gives me something else with American cheese, and I'm not gonna go there start judging, oh, this should be on my 30th and not my, I don't care. We're having fun, we're highlighting people, we're trying to, so when people say, oh, you ate a video, you ate a cheesesteak that had slab and no Cooper, I'm like, I don't care. It was still
Yeah.
good. We ate it, we had fun. At the owner, that's the way they make it. They
Yeah.
put peppers in it. Who cares? I don't, I won't if I order it my way, but that's
I
it.
mean, yeah, I mean, and that's just it with different individuals who go out there to highlight the businesses and the purveyors and whatnot that are available for others to actually seek out. What we're offering is based on what we're trying to, highlight. You guys are highlighting the different restaurants and whatnot as they are. Whereas I, along with some other people, we go in and we're analyzing different aspects of the
Yeah.
restaurant and different ways, like the actual like breakdown of how it tastes and whatnot. So I would probably fall under the other aspect of
Yeah.
that.
I
But
like-
yeah, and you guys are out there having fun, and you do have a lot of fun. I mean, I've watched several of your videos. That's how I came to know you.
And like I said, I don't mind if someone someone has a platform where they do that and they judge or I don't care.
Yeah.
Up to them if they're just copying someone else to someone else. Like I said, we keep it short. I don't want to hear myself talk. When I check someone else's video, I don't really care about what they eat or about what they do, in a way where like if they just keep explaining, like I want to see the food. Show me the food. And if it's good, I'll go try it. Like your palate, or it's all subjective in a way, like you can like hot peppers, I cannot like, or you like pickles, I don't like pickles.
Yeah.
Who cares? As long as you had a good time, you went out, you didn't like it, okay.
I
And
mean, and I'm one to have like I have a big sweet tooth, although I feel like I'm getting older and like my sweet tooth is like kind of waning and my savory and salty is kind of going up. But
more different now. I'm more into salty. Like I kind of like, I don't mind if I don't have dessert now. I
yeah.
if someone's like offering, but like I said, maybe different than you when you go do and you try food. Like I usually, we talk with the owners first, and you say, no, I always try to come early in the morning. I don't want to bother anybody. I don't want to be right in the rush. And then, oh, the cheesesteak, like if the guy's got a line of 1,000 people at the door, it could be a cheesesteak that is not, or something, and then it's easy to bash, it's easy to say something. So, and I let them a chance to, I highlight, it's usually a bit more empty, but then I go there in the morning when it's usually not even open. So
Yeah.
that we're just trying to do something fun, and I bring all the kids most of the time. So it's like a family time, and people get to see, is there like handicap accessible? There's a little bit of a menu, a little bit of how to sit. So people see a little bit of, if they bring 10 people there and it's just a counter, then at least they see it,
Yeah.
and they get to see something on the menu, they get to click on the tag that I put, they get to see the hours, they get to see the menu, they get to see how to get there. So it's easy, it's accessible. You don't like my face, I don't really show it that much, a little bit sometimes, and I try to cut what I can. I try not to talk over it too much. I just put some music and I put the video as much as I can. I don't
You're highlighting the place and the food.
Photoshop anything. This is how it is, and that's it.
Yeah.
Like the video. Oh well, like I'm not. I don't make money out of this. It's more to help out, and eating good food, because I eat 3 times a day. So it's like putting gas in your car. Do you judge the gas station every time how the gas was? No, you eat it. Just like food, you need food.
Yeah.
So just enjoy your time. That's
Ooh.
and
Well, bottom line, food is fuel. So it matters also what you're consuming.
Yeah.
Because you want to nurture your body and give your body nutrients. So I'm going to use that actually to stem into your business, your own business, your family farm. So you've been, you had a little bit of a struggle bus coming like this season with all things that have been happening and with the drought and starting and restarting. So let our listeners know a little bit about you and your farm too, because that matters.
Well, first of all, when like I'm an immigrant, you know, like I'm not American. I'm American in a way where I'm born in North America, but I'm from Quebec, you know, so
Yeah.
I'm a Quebecer, you know, and I immigrated here with my wife. She was pregnant with twins, and back in Quebec, I had a farm, and I was doing garlic there, and also vegetables and chickens and animals. And when I moved here, I didn't have my work visa, or I didn't have anything. So, you know, I'm not going to start stealing jobs or doing all this stuff. And I'm like, you know, I'm going to open up my own business again, and I'm going to start doing garlic. It's like a dream that I kind of had to abandon. And I'm like, I'm going to start it back here, you know. So we knocked on everybody's doors that we saw land. Everybody, you know, closed the door. No one. And then my wife made a post somewhere. I think it was Facebook or like local or something. And one guy answered. He said, "Hey, you know what? I just bought a land in Morristown, and I'm not going to be using it for the next like 15 years." He's like, when I retire, I'm going to build a house somewhere, but it's like 30 acres, and you know, there's a 5 acre farmland if you want, you know. So
Yeah.
no water access, there's no electricity, there was trees growing. So I'm like, you know what? All right, I'll start that, and you know, started from there. We bought a beat up tractor. And we have a hashtag that's called Cursed Tractor now, because it's the most things never happen. I got like 16 flat tires. I rebuilt the transmission, rebuilt the engine, rebuilt everything, and it's still down right now. I had to buy another one. So, you know, it's been a struggle, and the land was not the best. So, you know, we had to rebuild the land, rebuild everything. We have water totes to collect the water from what we can, and then we spray it back in the field on flat lines, and we have generators for whatever else we need, you know. And so it's a struggle. We bring water from home with bottles just to go feed the animals, you know. And now we have, you know, we had 200 chickens, and now nature predators decided to strike. But you know, we have 2 goats, and we have about 110 chicken now. So you know, we have some beehives. You know, we're getting there. The spot where all the vegetables were, half of them didn't make it because of the drought, and we couldn't
Yeah.
collect enough water and spray every day to be able to, you know, at least 1 acre of full gardening, you know. So it's kind of hard to just get that all wet, and you know, the struggle. And we also had a at the Burlington County Ag Center, not the farmers,
Yeah.
but the Ag Center.
The agricultural.
They let us have like half an acre, which I was sharing with Liam from Homebody Farms. And you know, so there's water and everything. So we mostly put the garlic there on almost an acre, and we had to drive the tractors in the street, which was kind of crazy. But and then that garlic was really good. And then we planted another 20,000 garlic at the farm, which
Yeah.
got stuck in the ground because it was so dry. We couldn't pick it up because it was just breaking. So we had to let go of that. So, but you know, it was a test for last year to try and get some more seeds for this year. So, you know, like it happens, you know.
Yeah.
So
But this is kind of like the real story of, you know, some of the struggles that farmers go through, because, you know, you have a niche farm right now, where you're, you know, growing your black garlic with some veggies and, you know, your chickens and whatnot. So you have a small family farm relative compared to, you know, some of the larger farms that are around surrounding that New Jersey area. But like it's kind of a myopic, you know, or like a microscope, if you will, on the larger scale of what farmers go through. So I'm glad that you're sharing, you know, what you've gone through, because people, you know, that's a life story, and that's an actual struggle, and people can resonate because they want the garlic, they want the veggies, they want the chicken. So, you know, and the eggs.
I want to clarify, the black garlic doesn't grow. We have to make it.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The garlic. Yes, I know you have to roast it. I'm sorry. That's my bad. Yes, you grow garlic and you turn it into the black garlic, and I understand that. But like you it's a struggle no matter what that you go through in order to get to that point.
Yeah, it was a struggle because, like I said, we didn't receive any grants. We didn't receive anything. It was all from me. All like everything I did was from our work. And you know, like some people get lucky, and some people have, you know, different thing happens. And you go in the other corner and you see someone just got a 50,000 acre for free, you know, and we didn't get any of that. We didn't get any help from the government. We didn't get any help from the city. So we're doing everything ourselves. We had some help from the Rutgers University for the lot at the Burlington County, which is Rutgers University, the demonstration plot.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm thankful for that. You know, they got us started, you know, so they were kind enough to actually Liam from Homebody was kind enough to let me have half of his land. And then he bought a land in Chesterfield, so he let me use more and more. So I don't think I'm going to be going back there next year because I have too much on my plate at my main. And yeah, so you know, last year was the deer that destroyed everything, and now this year was the drought, you know, and then it's, you know, and then the predators with the chickens, and now we got goats to protect the chickens, and now the chickens stop laying because it's too hot. So it's always something, you know, but you know,
Like with any business, you face the struggles.
Second year, you know, so next year, you know, might be like starting to get well. You know, at the farmers market, we're doing good. We're at the Rancocas Woods every Sunday, and we did Mullica Hill, and we're going back to Mullica Hill next Saturday. And next year we will plan a whole lot more because this year we didn't have enough vegetables or anything. So, you know, and we also represent the Lucas Bakery, so we bring their bread and everything that we can, and their tomato pies also, which is awesome. And like I said, we also represent Hunter's Farm when they can. They support our business, so we support them. So we bring some of their stuff when we can, and you know, vice versa. You know, so it's fun to have like a couple of businesses around here that support us. They buy our stuff. They also sell our product at their stand or kiosk or store, and you know, it's just pretty cool. You know, and Captain Chucky's helped me out a lot. You know, so that's where we do our products. You know, so we rent the kitchen, and you know, they let us. You know, so they sell it there too, you know, so we're really happy, the Captain Chucky's in Cinnaminson.
Yeah.
And so like that, you know, we're really happy to, you know, to have met people to help us out, you know, with our struggle, you know, so we're really grateful for that. And, you know, we cannot be more than, I don't know what the word is, but, you know.
Appreciative.
Yeah. So like, you know, next year, you know, we're hopefully going to go even better. You know, we're starting to get better stickers, better, you know, stuff for the, you know,
the labels for
and start doing more labels of different stuff that we make. You know, last year was more of a test. This year we made a whole lot of the Vampire Killer, which last year people were so disappointed when we were out of it. And that's why we planted about 35,000 garlic. So we had about 35,000 scapes to make it.
Oh, wow.
And yet we're almost running out, you know, so, you know, it's bad that the garlic got stuck in the ground, but at least it gave us that to at least recuperate a little bit on.
Yeah.
Yeah, because, you know, we're trying our best. You know, we're not doing organic, but we're doing pretty much organically the way we do. We don't use pesticide. We don't use any GMOs or crap like that. But so it's kind of hard, but, you know, we're getting there.
Yeah.
I bet next year is going to be better. Yeah.
It will. And, you know, with each year, like maybe something new, like maybe some sort of irrigation system so that you don't have to like backbreaking work, like bring the bottles of water.
Pumping water, and then like, you know, it is heavy, like a 3-inch water pump to have to carry around to go get water, you know, and it's not, but you know, it got us through, you know, helping up, you know, with this season, you know. So if the tractors would have went better, I guess the season would have went a little bit better earlier. We could have maybe saved it a lot, but hey, it happens, you know.
Yeah.
We keep smiling, you know. I know every time, like every time I sit on my tractor, something breaks, so I'm just laughing. So, you know, I found a horseshoe yesterday. My tractor died, and I had to go under, and I stepped on an old horseshoe from like 50 years ago. So I'm like, was it my bad luck because it was upside down or something? You know,
maybe, but like I would keep that horseshoe and put it right, you know?
Yeah, I know. So I was like, oh, you know, it's a sign. Maybe, you know, I'm doing something wrong, or I'm on the right path, you know?
Yeah, it could, who knows? But I would maybe try to rig it so you could have the horseshoe on the, you know, the good luck side and like put it on your tractor.
I learned that this year that there's like a horseshoe has to be in this, I think.
Yeah, and I think it's supposed to be this way. Is it supposed to be I don't know.
It could be, yeah. So I was like, and someone told me, because my kid found another one earlier in the season, and someone came and was like, your horseshoe is upside down. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, all right, maybe that's the problem, but we still had some problems after that. So maybe the one in the ground was upside down too. So
Yeah. So now you gotta get it like put the right way, and then you'll
Yeah.
have good luck coming in. So for those who are interested in purchasing Vampire Killer or any of the other products that you have, because we have a short 2 minutes to let people know what other products you have available too, aside
Well,
from.
yeah, if you guys anybody wants to reach us, because we're not really open to the public, you know, in Morristown, even though people can drive by, if they see us, they can stop. But it's they can find us on Instagram through Cultinary Family Farms, Facebook Cultinary Family Farms, and also on TikTok under Garlic Goat. And like I said, you can send us a message. We answer every message, and you can also call us at 856-291-0034. That's our main Google phone number. So we all gonna answer for our vampire.
For
And
the
like,
vampire. Yeah, that stuff is good, by the way. Really good.
or as we speak, because I have some orders, and I told people not between 5 and 5:30, but I guess they're all here.
Oh no.
Yeah, so yeah, I keep the door keeps on knocking, and I'm prepping some eggs right now for some clients. So like I said, we do pack orders at the house, and people can come pick it up at the house, or we do also local delivery. So if anybody wants something, we have, then we can pack it up. We will, we're more than happy to go deliver
All right.
and come right to the house too.
Well, that's perfect, because maybe I'll order some and send it to my father.
Yeah, I'll deliver it. I'll be more than happy.
All right. Well, on that note, Eric, it was wonderful having you on, and thank you for sharing your story with myself and my listeners.
It's a pleasure. And like again, I just want you to say my name one more.
Ah,
Just,
okay. Eric de Grandmont.
almost.
Almost.
I was, but almost.
All right. Well, at least I gave it the good old college try.
Yeah. Well, it was a pleasure and an honor. And like I said, it's always a pleasure to see you.
Yes.
We're good friends, so I'm really happy to every time I see you, it's always a good time.
It is. It's a wonderful time. So until then, tune in to Food Farms and Chefs, as we have a brand new episode every single week.
All right.